Welcome to another episode of Unfiltered. These really are a great time. It's a chance for the four of us to banter, to open up and talk about different things that are going on in our lives. Today, we end up talking about loyalty. We also talk about brotherhood. This is going to be incredibly important for those of you that want to make good, strong bonds with other men when it comes to friendship or brotherhood. Everyone desires it. Everyone wants to be a part of a strong, healthy Christian brotherhood. But how do you have it? And if you don't have it, what personally may be going on with yourselves that's causing you to be kind of outside or apart from a strong network of men? We're going to get into that and so much more on today's Unfiltered. Well, welcome to the Kavod Family Podcast. My name is Casey Wilson. We've got Travis Shook, Justin Bonner, and Danny Antoine. How are you, gentlemen?
Good. What's up?
Good. This is Unfiltered. Not going to throw it, not going to put it out there. You're probably listening to this on a Monday or a Friday.
They all come out on Monday. 2 years straight.
Every podcast, every episode. Here's where we at.
Well, this is a time where we just kind of get together, air some laundry, some town laundry, some things that are going on in the culture. We talk about life. We talk about things that we're going through. Danny gets out of his stool and he stands up for this one because he's ready to go to bat, I should say. And we just have a good time. Talk about what's on our mind, what we're going through, what maybe our family is going through, some things in culture. And so that's what we're going to do for the next 35 minutes. Does that work?
Man, let's go.
Oh, man. Well, gentlemen, Danny, I know you brought the subject together just a moment ago. You said you want to talk about loyalty.
Yeah, man.
What's on your mind there?
Hot topic for me, loyalty. I'm just thinking about it. Really watching all these, especially just studying through these different apologetics, these debates, and looking at the new way of thinking, I call it today, because loyalty, back when I was in my 20s, it had everything to do with sacrifice. I mean, when I was loyal to somebody, that means it was going to cost me something to be loyal. That means I don't get what I want for the betterment of somebody else. You see what I'm saying? It was just different. And it was always filtered through a sense of love, a sense of community, relationship, intimacy. Like there was all of that involved in it that, that made it go down a lot easier to make the sacrifice. But there was still a sacrifice involved. It wasn't, you don't get anything out of this outside of making sure you put a smile on that face. Do you put a smile on that heart right there? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I feel like, and I could be wrong, y'all just, throw it around a little bit. Today, what I feel like I'm seeing is loyalty is based solely on self-seeking. In other words, it's based on what I can get out of it. I will be loyal as long as it's serving me at some capacity. The moment that it's not serving me anymore, all bets are off. There is no loyalty. And in that time for me, that would be considered disloyal, but it feels like it's considered to be loyal today. And I'm like, how could that be loyal if it's so condition based like that?
I understand what you're saying. Let me ask you a couple of questions. 20 years ago, so you were a fine young 15-year-old at that time, right? Is that what you're saying?
25.
I was like, hold on.
It's more like 25.
Back in the day, when you think about loyalty, especially in the culture and the context that you're growing up, how much of loyalty that you lived in was based on, was kind of shame-based in the sense that if I'm not loyal, I'm going to look shameful, or I'll bring shame upon myself or maybe upon my family.
There's a massive sense of that, yeah.
Is that fair to say that that's
but it was
part of
good,
the influence?
yeah.
Okay.
Because you see, we look at shame today like it's a problem. It's not. Most of the kids today, because they never experience a sense of shame, they don't mind being mediocre.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Or
no, seriously. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
There's not a sense of like
of true failure, true shame.
Yeah, like you don't want to fail because you don't want the shame of it, so you push harder. But today it's like now it's just going to just tear everybody to shreds. Oh my gosh, They felt the shame. This is like they're going to be in therapy for the rest of their lives. Like seriously, like what happened there? Well, there was a sense of shame that pushed that, but I look at it, it was in a good way.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Because again, you don't want to dishonor your family name. You know, you don't want to dishonor the people that you love. If it's the fellas, you don't want to dishonor the code that you got with your boys.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? There's a code that you have there that says we are going to be there no matter what. You call, no questions asked, we're riding. You see what I'm saying? Because you understood that. And you didn't want to be the one guy in the whole brotherhood there that would have been like, oh, well, I don't know. The moment you start thinking that way, you know everybody else like, let's get him. Right? You see what I'm saying? You didn't want to be that guy.
Is it fair to say that, because I think about the things that I try to be loyal to, or the people that I try to be loyal to, it's usually wrapped around those that I honor, I love, I respect. Respect has a lot to do with it.
Big time.
Right?
Yes.
If you have
agree.
If you have a family that disappoints you, an embarrassing family, a family that doesn't lead well, doesn't provide well, doesn't take care of you, it's very easy for you to kind of detach from that over time, right? Yeah. And so you become less loyal because what am I being loyal to? What did you offer me that I needed to be loyal to? Where in other cultures, even when you think about gangs, there's a devout loyalty to it, but there's a respect
but believe
for
it or
whatever
not,
people are around you.
For most young guys going into gangs, that's usually the main attraction.
Yes, exactly.
Right? That's usually the main draw there,
Yes.
knowing that I got that back and I have that loyalty amongst these guys. Like there's a draw to that.
There's a big draw in Islam when it comes to joining the religion of Islam.
There is.
A lot of it has to do with the authorities and the people around you. And you see these, especially when men didn't have any, I'll just be straight, when the Christian heroes were gone and they were hiding behind all these feminists, when that was taking place over the last 50 years, right? Islam was on the rise. Why? Because their men were willing to stand up and say, we're not doing this. This is wrong. This is right. Here's a standard. Chase this. And especially in the prisons.
So if you
people were converting left and right to Islam because of a standard of lifestyle.
So you put it that way. Here's something for all Christian men out there to wrap your minds around. You look at like the whole trans movement, the LGBTQ movement, have no problem attacking Christians.
Sure.
All day long.
Right.
Because we're transphobic, we're homophobic, we're all of this, right? Now, I don't know about you, but I've never seen them attack Islam that way. Name me one time that you've seen that.
Well, it's because that religion barks back primarily. they bark back.
Right.
Cut off your head.
Yes.
I mean, it's even the thought process, you know, you got like Queers for Palestine, but not understanding if you went to Palestine, do you know what they would do to you?
Right.
They don't even know. I've watched debates where these kids are just finding out in the debate what would happen if they went. I'm like, how did you not even look at that?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a sense that, you know, it's allowed to be that way because we're just too non-vocal about it, I guess you can say. We're too accepting of that, realizing that, you know, they're telling you that basically they're upset because they feel like you're a bigot because you won't accept their way of life. But no one ever addresses the fact that they're so mad at you, they're not accepting your way of life.
Yeah.
That doesn't get addressed. So we sit there and we just acquiesce to just the one group that way. And it's like, why are we not talking about the whole issue? Why are we only attacking half of it that, you know, that basically makes it one side feel very good while everybody else has just got to bow down to it? That's stupid.
Did you ever have a time in your life, gosh, go back about 15 years, and I remember standing just to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I was a little bit younger, standing with a group of people to do the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'd look at the American flag, and it was a season of life where I was just, I don't know, it was a fog. A lot of what was going on in the country and the nation, especially foreign wars, other things, it just didn't make sense to me. The things that we were doing, the leadership that we had, it was not something that I respected a lot of over a period of time, maybe 10 years, right? And it was like the urge to align with a strong, strict, like, no, my allegiance is to Christ and Christ alone, and not understand the values of being a part of my country. It was there. And I only make that connection because I really do think when the leadership or when the people at large do not hold a value that is worth pursuing, loyalty tends to be broken, and you fall off and you seek after another.
Great point.
You go somewhere else, right? Where I would say right now, I think, I was just thinking about this on the drive in, I think our children our children and our grandchildren will probably have a massive appreciation and value for the military because of the leadership that's in charge right now and the standards that they're setting. They're going to see a pace and an attitude about life and authority and leadership.
Because you have leadership right now that's bringing that back. For a little while, this was lost to the point where other countries were making commercials, making fun of American military. That never used to be.
Nah.
But we got so soft, like other countries were actually, they weren't just making fun of us, they were televising it. Like, what are we doing?
I feel like loyalty is loaded, and it shouldn't be. But there's two thoughts I have going on. Like, for me, to put it into words, for me to be loyal, you have to be worth following.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And worth following, there's a layer of honor and respect. There's a weightiness, there's a reverence there, and obviously it's in Christ. But like, for me to want to follow Christ, I had to understand who he was and what he did for me and how much he loved me. He came and died. He died when he didn't have to die. He could have killed us all and restarted. So he had all power. Like, so as you start to layer this, I'm like, dang, you made us. You could have wiped us out. We sinned against you. We hated you. We killed you. We mocked you. And you could have called down angels, but you didn't. You loved and you died and you gave us a chance. So like, that is worth following. Yeah. So nowadays, I'm as a Christian, I default love. It doesn't mean I'm going to follow you. It doesn't even mean that I might respect you. You need to be worth respecting, but I'll love you and I'll tell you about Christ. But there's very few men that if they give me advice, actually, I'll clarify that. If someone gives me advice, I'm going to go to God with it and pray about it. And if God says yes, then you could be stupid and I'm going to listen to it because God said yes. But the point is like, there's not many people that I look to follow. And there's not many people that I'll run with.
There's not very many people that have that kind of weight in your life that if they do say something to you, that it means something.
Yes, and it's not because I'm great. It's because what I want to run with and chase is great. So let me say that again. It's not because I'm great and I'm strong and I'm amazing and all y'all suck. It's because where I want to go and who I want to follow and who I'm running with is great. And if you're not about that, then go away. Like, I don't have time for that. So two parts of that. It's loyalty comes from being someone worth following. And most of the time, that's not even, fathers aren't even striking that, most fathers aren't worth following. Like, sorry, you're out of shape, you're lazy, you complain, you whine, you come home, you want to sit on the couch, drink beer. Like, when I was a kid, I was like, forget about it. I don't go outside. I want to do stuff. It's 10 o'clock at night, and I'm trying to get in bed because I'm getting up in a few hours, and my son's wanting to ride a dirt bike in the dark. And I'm like...
Tell him to call me.
Inside, I'm like, that's my boy. You know, it's late, it's raining. He's like, let's go set a trap. Let's go. And I'm like, let's do it because I understand that, and I need to be in front of that. When we work out here, like, I try to not take my vest off until the end because I'm like, these guys are still suffering. If I finish before and I'm faster because this is my career, I'm going to sit in it. You take it off too. Don't just point at Casey.
Until the end of the workout.
So, but my point is, like, I'm constantly looking for ways to make it harder for myself and be a man worth following. Yeah. Like, if you're struggling to pick up the 100-pound sandbag and someone comes in brand new and they lift more than you, they're they're immediately looking at you. And even though that's not a quality of, like, grab the principle, don't just think of lifting, but that's how God talks to me. Yeah. So if I come in and someone's pushing harder than me and this is my job, this is what I do, I'm like, they're going to look at me like, oh, geez, you know? So be a man worth following. If you look here, this is crazy. I just kind of like stumbled upon this morning in our last episode. So 1 Samuel 14, I always struggle. My eyesight's going and my hearing. Verse 7, 6 and 7. So this is the story of Jonathan with his armor bearer, and he climbs up the mountain. I'm summarizing to go kill all these Philistines.
Wait, that's 1 Samuel what?
1 Samuel 14, verse 6. And I'm going to read 2 or 3 verses here. So Jonathan said to the young man who carried his armor. So guys, armor bearer back then is like your ride or die. He's next to you the entire time. If you're going to die and you're outnumbered and it's just you two, he's there. Like, he's not leaving. That's how it is. So Jonathan said to his young man who carried his armor, come, let us go over to the garrison of these uncircumcised. So garrison, I looked it up. During this time, it says it could be 30 people to like 300 people. So it wasn't like a hard number, but basically 2 guys versus 30. to hundreds, and they're climbing up a cliff to go attack these people. But listen to this. This is crazy. It may be that the Lord will work for us, for nothing can hinder the Lord from saving by many or by few. And his armor bearer said to him, I'm going to pause there. I'm going to rewind. He's saying, let's go climb up this cliff, and let's go attack 30 or 100 or 200 or whatever it is. It may be that the Lord will work for us. It may be. Not like the Lord's going to do it.
No, he might.
He might be on our behalf, but let's go. And listen to this armor bearer. Do all that is in your heart. Do as you wish. Behold, I am with you, heart and soul.
Yeah.
Like that level of weightiness, it's his role and it's his prince and he has to follow. But also it's like Jonathan was a man worth following. So even if he knew I was going to die, he's like, I'm going to die and with courage, with valor, and they're going to tell stories of how nuts we were, but we're going to go freaking do this. So men, you have to be a man worth following. And then how do you become worth following? You follow Christ. So there's this dichotomy here. You have to follow Christ. That's not a if, and, or the, but that is what it is. But physically in this life, there's things that you're going to do that will attract other men and attract your son. You need to be in shape. You should wake up early. You should do hard things, whatever it is, frequently. You should get out of your comfort zone and learn something new. Like there's things that men look at and respect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So loyalty to me is two things. Like you need to, like, if I see you, I'm going to look at you, I'm going to size you up. And it's not like, am I better than you? But I'm like, are you disciplined? Are you out of shape? Do you eat? Do you work out? Like, do you lead your family well? Do you love well? Are you holding the door open for your wife? Are you holding the door open for your daughter? Are you holding your daughter? Are you walking on the outside of the sidewalk and they're on the inside? Do you carry your wife's purse and go get her an umbrella when it's pouring rain? Like, are you doing these things? If not, when you say something to me, you're irrelevant.
Boom.
Yeah. Yeah, there is definitely a connection there. You can't just turn to people around you and say, respect me, follow me, respect me. Like you have to become the kind of person that's living a life that's worth following. It just is what it is. And even with your own household, with your own children, with your wife and children.
Live it first.
You can't just get to a point where you correct, respect, tell them. You have to actually submit, repent of your sins, begin to lifestyle. And hopefully after a month, maybe 2, maybe 3, you look back and you go, they're closer than they were.
And you have an eye on this the whole time. I forget what we were talking about in the last episode, but it was kind of this balance of like you're looking to Christ, but here it is. You know that responsibility and leading. You have a responsibility to represent Christ. Yeah. So if you have an eye on that and Christ and eye on loyalty, like if you understand loyalty, you should be loyal to Christ. And the principles and things that he stood for, you should be loyal to. And then you're responsible to recreate that loyalty in him, and you walk that out. So when Reed comes in and he's tired and he's hungry and he's being mouthy to Lyd, it's my job to kill that immediately and say, that's your mom. Yeah. That's your mama. And you love her till the day you die. Yeah, that's good. And you take care of her. And Ez is getting older and girl moods and all that stuff. I'm like, you don't talk to her like an equal. You're not an equal. You're her daughter. And she loves you more. The only person that loves you more than her is Jesus. So treat her right. If you're disagreeing, you're arguing, like, let me show you how to communicate with her well. But like, you have to be the one that leads and teaches and recreates loyalty too.
That's good.
Because that standard it's gone.
Justin, let's wrap up loyalty. Let's wrap up this part. Is there an order? Is there a simple order that you see in culture and life, in your household, in Christendom, that we should have, a loyalty that we should have to certain things?
Like Ordo Morris stuff?
Yeah, I mean, you and I were just talking about this. Was it yesterday or today?
Yeah, I don't know. Time flies. But
it was actually this morning.
Sounding old, dude.
No, it was yeah.
There is this Ordo Morris, this order of affections, order of loves. And we get, because, not to go on a tangent, but because of the multiculturalism of the liberal agenda that has swept across the entire globe and is what's been bred into us since the day we were born. We don't even know how to think outside of that. It's destroyed nationhood and nationalism. Mm-hmm. And it's this kumbaya, really this one world order. That was kind of older language to scare people, but this kind of coalition of countries that goes and imposes its standard, which is democracy, onto every nation that doesn't agree with them. And that's really the way that our world operates, things like giant councils of countries and governments. And it's actually destroyed the idea of nationhood and individual identity. And it imposes its collective identity onto it. And so it's kind of killed this desire to love your country first, right? Like, I love America more than I love Zimbabwe.
Yes.
And I love America more than I love South Korea. I love America more than I love Israel. Sorry. Like, and what that's done, the reason why I start like that is because the trickle down effect is that we don't know how to rightly order our loves in order of importance before God. And so, having a conversation with a church member last night just about some family dynamics, with a family member who's causing strife and trouble in the family. And this has been for years and years and years and years and years. And this church member feeling the weight and the guilt of what might happen if I don't go to the end for this person. And what I told this church member was that the first, it starts with God, then your spouse, then your kids, then your parents, then your siblings, then your cousins, then your friends, right? Like there's an order to this that God has put in place. And so if you are unable to be loyal to God, your spouse, your kids, and your parents in order to be loyal to that sibling, then you're being disloyal to all of them. Yeah. And in the order of importance, you're actually sinning.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if in order for you to be, and I think a better word for loyal is faithful, biblically speaking. I think faithful is kind of the biblical framework for something like loyalty. We remain faithful to somebody, right? And so if we're seeking to be faithful, there's an order of affections and loves that God has given us. I am supposed to consider my wife here and my kids here, not of value and made in the image of God, but in order of a hierarchy of importance for me.
Sure.
It's unequivocally, yes, my wife is more important than my children in that scheme of things, right?
Well, how many times do you hear, my kids are the most important things to me?
Oh,
sure.
man.
Above wife, above
And
husband.
those people
that
probably
is-
have
it's out
horrible
of order,
marriages.
man.
How many marriages have been lost because of that?
It's out of order.
Well, I mean, the
anytime you
best
do
case
that.
scenario is your kids make it through and they see this tightrope walk of a marriage that somehow makes it through till the last kid goes to college, and then they divorce
Then it falls
and they go,
apart.
I just don't feel that way about your mom, and I haven't for a long time, but you were the glue that was holding us together. And it's because we don't have faithfulness and fidelity to the rightly ordered loves. Like, we should care more about the United States of America than we do about other countries.
Well, here's the reason
right?
why.
Like,
It's God's
not
order.
wrong. Yes,
It's God's
yes,
order.
yeah.
The reason why that makes that so solid is solely because it's his order.
Sure.
If God put us together and says, you know what, your wife is what comes first after me, that means there's no negotiation about that.
Yep.
But that got changed. That got lost in translation with time, because the culture that you described opened that door wide open for us to get everything out of whack. No one knows who's leading anymore. No one knows where loyalty is supposed to go. And even the word loyalty has lost it. There used to be a strength that was attached to that. Mm-hmm. That strength has been lost because of just how watered down everything has gotten.
And just to segue to what we wanted to talk about along with the loyalty, which I think we're kind of landing the ship on that anyways. But like, there's, as you were talking about, that you look around at people who you look at them and go, I don't really respect you. I don't want to become like you. If you hang out around me enough, I hope you become more like the Christ in me. Yeah. But I don't want to become anything like you. That's okay with people who are not put under your immediate charge, like your family, like your parents. Yep. Like this verse in 2 Timothy, when it says, there's this little poem that Paul says, but in verse 13, if we are faithless, he remains faithful, for he cannot deny himself. Speaking of Jesus, right? And there's a level where for some of us, for some of our relationships, we don't get to draw back because they aren't rising to a certain standard, like our wife, like our kids, right? Like our family, our household especially, over and above everything. Our family, we don't get to wipe our hands and kick the dust off of our feet and say, come back to me when you've met this standard, then I will be loyal and faithful to you. But when you're looking out into the world and you're going out and you're seeking to find brothers to run with, which is integral to the life of a Christian, when you are looking for those kind of men, you're looking for the kind of man who at least has some sort of spark there that you go, you're not there yet, but there's something there, and I want to help fan that into flame, right? But there's so many guys, and I don't know if it's just because of a sissified Christianity or something, but we're so afraid to we're so afraid to just look at a guy and go, you need God, not me. You have nothing going for you. You have nothing going for you, and I can't fix that. You're a black hole of a person, and you're going to suck me in and take me away from actually running with these people who want to be here and who want to grow up and who want to live like men. I'm not sinning by telling that guy, go become a man, at least a little.
Here we go.
And then come back, right?
Proverbs 27:6. I wonder why I turned to this, and it was to finish this thought. Faithful are the wounds of a friend. Profuse are the kisses of an enemy.
We lost the heart to be able to look at a guy right there and tell him exactly what you just said. Yo, won't you man up? When he's walking out on his family, let him know. Don't be a coward. Man up, get back in there and go fight for your family. But we consider that harsh. How far have we come? If the Father would look at us and let us understand, you are my son, and as my son, this is what the standard is what you're going to do. Why in the world can we not do that with each other anymore? Because we sit around and get this little palatable version of what Christianity is, feed it to the world and try to tell them that that's our God. Last time I checked, I was talking to the kids yesterday, and they were asking, how come God has no creator? Right? Yeah. And I was telling that's funny because when I was your age, at that age, this is how I looked at it, right? I hear there's all these gods. So I'm going to go with the baddest one, right? Whoever flexes the hardest, that's who I want to roll with, right? And then when they give me stories about the Bible and stuff, I realized, you know what? I hear about all these other gods, but man, they all bend the knee to this one God. Yeah. That means if he flexes, everybody's done. I'm going with that guy. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? I told him that's how I made my choice in the beginning to understand that, right?
But I think with what Travis was hitting on the loyalty piece, when you're looking for brothers, and that's where I think we should land this, is with the reality of brotherhood. There are no single children. There are no only children in Christianity. You're born again into a family, and you have brothers, and there are those who are not brothers yet who you need to bring in, all of that.
This would apply for sisters too.
Yeah, sure.
They have their circles.
They just don't watch this podcast. But
there's like 7%.
Yeah, sure.
Ladies, he just kidding.
Yeah, and they're just trying to play it while their husband's sitting next to them because he's not a man. Exactly. Right? But the reality, the truth is that when you find those men that you lock arms with, when you find those men that you go, I am, like you just said, with all my heart and with all my soul, the way that David and Jonathan were, right? It's caricatured as gay because they talk more intimately than most men are comfortable talking. Yeah. Right? But they're like, their souls were knit together. They were like, you are chasing me through the desert with your dad who hates me. But I'm still faithful to you because I recognize who you are and I love you. But when you find those men to lock arms with, loyalty transcends, faithfulness transcends success and failure. Because David, in Ziklag, everybody wants to kill him. And then there's those few guys who were bought into David, not just what David was doing, right? Like Benaiah and the 3 and the 30, and then the rest of the army. You had those men who were like, you screwed up. You did. You're the highest authority. That means that the buck stops with you. Responsibility flows to authority. And really authority flows from responsibility.
Yep.
But they looked at David and they said, our loyalty to you is not predicated upon your success in battle. We are loyal to you, and we're loyal to God. And that's what we get to be as brothers, is we get to look at one another, look at other men and say, I'm loyal to God first, and you are too. And I'm loyal to you, and I'm going to hold you to be loyal and faithful to him. Yep. And we're going to hold each other to that. And that means that when you fail, I'm not going to cut you loose, because as we talked about before we hit record, is that faithfulness and loyalty only extends as far as usefulness extends. And going through this with my son, my oldest son, he struggles with selfishness. Men struggle. I think that's their life-dominating sin is selfishness. That's how men are. And he really struggles with selfishness with his brother and sister, even in things just like playing with them. He'll formulate little games and things like that to play with them. And he sets rules in place, and then when they just want to be with their brother and they just want to spend time with him, but they don't obey the rules that he's set in place perfectly, all of a sudden he's mad at them. He doesn't want to play with them. He doesn't want to hang out with them. He wants to get mad at them. It's pleasing to his flesh to be able to have some authority and get onto them, right? And I told him, what you're doing is that you're telling your brother and sister that your love for them, your loyalty, your fidelity to them only extends as far as their usefulness in pleasing you goes. And you have to kill that with brothers, with brotherhood. With other men, you have to kill that, because that's we just know some of these guys, so you have to be careful how accurately you paint this picture.
The excommunication factor.
Right? But there's these guys who, when they are like that, that's what I tell my son is, if you're this kind of man, you're going to attract other men like that, and your life's going to suck. Yeah. Because the kind of men you want to attract around you are the kind of men who say, dude, sorry I failed, but what you hate me now? Like we just have to realize that we're called to more as Christian men, and we're called to bear one another's burdens. We're called to love the brotherhood. We're called to run shoulder to shoulder with other people. And
let's do this. Let's speak just real quick. Let's speak real frank. Because there's guys out there that struggle to make friends. There's guys out there that struggle to find that network of guys that they feel like, I got a group of guys to run with, right? There's a lot of factors that go into that. You know, the church that you're a part of, the community that you're a part of, are there Christians? Have you removed that peer group that you are given to that doesn't know God? Is that the world around you? I'm talking about those that have tried to separate and try to find, but they still struggle. They struggle to kind of bear up and run with a group of guys. Let's just speak frank. And this isn't to shame. This isn't to embarrass. This isn't to tear them down. This is kind of that just a moment of fatherly counsel. Work on these things, and this will cause you and allow you to be one among many easier. Does that make sense? I mean, you passed on one of the books that you used to use. You used to use in order to kind of build an internship here at the gym with some of your coaches. You used that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie, right?
Yeah.
And the aim of that was just learn some new tools and habits about communication, how to love, how to care for people.
Yeah.
And this will it'll put you in a position of influence in somebody else's life. And I think Christians I think we can do a better job of being frank with people and saying, hey, deal with this, and it will be easier to get along.
No, 100%. Like,
Fair?
you see this with guys all the time. It's like they have self-inflicted autism, and they like they don't know how to talk to people, because it's like, hey, dude, I don't want to talk about that stupid video game that you play, or I don't want to talk about your sucky college football team, or I don't want to talk about
really
NASCAR.
simple, man.
Basically,
stop being sensitive.
Like, learn how to talk to people.
So,
be someone.
Two
right?
things. I'm going to give guardrails here, right? So read Proverbs, first of all, if you're a dude. Like, it's so simple. So one here says, Proverbs 24:21, my son, fear the Lord and the king, and do not join with those who do otherwise. So there's your filter for who to run with. Do not join with those who do not follow Jesus. And then here, this is like for sin, but this is also like hazing too. So blows that wound cleanse away evil. Strokes make clean the innermost parts.
That's good.
So that's like sin, right? You're doing something stupid. I'm be like, don't freaking do that. That's dumb. I'm going to give you a hard conversation. We're going to deal with it. You might bring up some stuff, and then we're brothers, and we hold each other accountable, and we run through it. But also, like, men, don't be sensitive. Like, we haze each other 24/7. If we say a Fun Friday, you're Fun Friday guy forever. Like, you're getting, like, Casey skipped over a box when we were supposed to do box jumps the other day, like a little girl.
No,
Love you.
You're gonna paint a terrible picture.
We've hazed Casey ever since then. But my point is,
Thank you, homie.
It is what it is. I smoked him in it. That's why he's embarrassed by it. Now he wants to put rules to the standard of the workout.
I will never jump over a box like that. I don't care if I lose.
That's because you can't squat down to touch the box like I did.
Anyways, so don't be sensitive.
Yeah.
Like, look for men who are running with Christ. And then
Read that verse again.
the blows or the
Yeah, blow.
It says, blows that wound cleanse away evil. Strokes make
That's
clean the innermost parts.
Blows that
You know,
wound cleanse away.
There's some things that pain can teach that nothing else can teach it. You cannot be so stinking sensitive that you can't deal with stuff. And if he's putting that in there, there's a literal part to that as well. You know, as a fighter, I can tell you what. I can tell my fighters all day long, keep your hands up, keep your hands up. They're not going to do it until I do what? Get in that ring and punch them in the face a few times and make them understand.
But I
Put
think
your hands up.
That point
that changes.
That
things.
point that Casey's making, I think, is so crucial for men. Like we forget that, like, in school, proximity to people makes you friends. Like, I was best friends with a kid all 4th grade, and I haven't spoken to him since because we were in class together, right? Yeah. Like, but when you grow up, you have to become like a well-rounded man that can talk to people and actually have some value in a conversation.
You have to be intentional.
Sure.
You have to be
think
intentional
about other people. Like you can get this in the worldly guys, but also you can get this in the, like, in the Christian world. And it's because we become so narrow. That's what I was talking about with the with the autism thing, is that, like, we become, like, hyper focused on something and we think like that's our thing. Like, I worked with the redneck guys that wouldn't shut up about hunting. And I'm like, hey, I don't hunt. And it's like, well, that's what we're talking about.
Dude,
so
we
you
just
can go
lost
somewhere
like
else.
half our audience.
Okay,
They
cool.
just
So
turned us off right there.
I don't hunt. He hunts. He shoots at stuff. Yeah. Like what else? You hunt for granola or something like that. You're from California. But, like,
That's
Uncle Casey. Reed calls Uncle Casey avocado toast around the house.
Yeah. You know what? He loves avocado toast.
But it's not just the worldly guy is the easy one to paint a picture of, but Christians get like this too, especially when they start getting really theological and they start learning all these theological terms, is they become impossible to talk to for a regular guy because they think all anyone ever wants to talk about is the doctrine of justification by faith alone, or supralapsarian versus infralapsarianism. Yeah. And you're like, hey, I don't care. I'm just a regular dude that wants to talk about life.
But how many guys can look at that guy and say, you know what? Shut up.
Yeah.
Just like, shut up for a second.
Yeah.
If you can't be normal, get out my face, man. If you can't be normal for a moment, get out my face.
Like that's there's so much of that in the world, and you just have to look at guys and say, what? Like, if you just hang them out there for a second, they immediately know exactly. Like the guy, you know, the chameleon guy that you're talking in a circle and he just appears. And then he starts laughing at a joke that was halfway through when he got there, because he just wants to, like, he doesn't know who he is. Just stop the conversation and say, why did you just laugh at that? Like, those are things
you didn't hear it.
Yeah. Like, who are you? like that, dude, that might save a guy's life from being a loser for the rest of his life. Like, but we're so, oh, well, I don't want to offend anybody, and I don't want to. No, you're allowing people to walk around as cowards and go towards the lake of fire, right? Which is the first thing cowards are cast into on Judgment Day. And it's like, no, like, call men up, lock arms with people, and be faithful to them.
I mean, super practical. It's what David said, what they all said, be strong, act like a man. Like, act like a man. Have a haircut. Look presentable. Don't stink. Work out. Don't be grossly overweight. Do your best to do hard things every day. When you're in a conversation, don't be the only one freaking talking. Shut up and listen to other people talk.
He says act like a man, but guess what? In our culture, you got to first be able to tell me what's a man and what's a woman. How stupid of a time where we live in right now where we can't even identify that. Act like a man. You know?
Add value. Eye contact. When you shake a man's hand, look at his eyes and give a firm handshake.
I'll give you one, and I think this is really practical and really helpful. God is calling young men to become men, right? Children to be young boys to become boys, boys to become young men to become men. That's the direction that you're progressing in. And if the world that you're infatuated with, if the world that you're absorbed in is a world that's at your level or underneath you, you're not going to have the kind of appetite. You're not going to have the kind of language that attracts the world around you and older men above you. You're just not. You're going to be trapped in a world of immaturity, and it's going to bite you at some point. It's going to cause you to stumble. I'll give you an example. There is, Danny, you do it well at your karate school. You're with your staff, which is primarily young 20s, teenagers, that group of people, right? And then you have kids there all the time. You come down to their level as a father figure. You don't come down in childish ways.
Okay,
you don't become a child.
That's a perfect description because most adults today, their idea of relating to a kid is to come down and be on the kid's level.
Exactly.
And I got to teach my staff all the time. Listen, when I'm talking to a kid, I'm not one of your school buddies. No. I love you. We're going to have a good time. But there's going to be an element of respect that's going to stay there.
Yes.
But just because I keep that element of respect doesn't mean we can't have a good time.
Yes.
Most adults today, their idea of that is to just completely just be a child to the point where the other child's looking at you like you're just one of them. They don't have no respect for you. Yeah. And you wonder why they don't listen to you? Because you have no authority. Authority is not bad in itself.
No.
We've just, again, become such a soft culture that we think authority is bad because it's going to be overbearing. I love when people call me overbearing because my answer is pretty simple. I am always going to be overbearing in a world where passivity is the norm.
Yep.
Am I too much or are you too little?
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's to go with what you're saying too, is like be yourself. Like if I'm 31, I'm not going to try to act 60 because it looks stupid.
No.
But I'm not going to act 21.
Have your eyes on 40. Be 31, but have your eyes on 40.
My middle son, he's 6. He puts on my cowboy boots and walks around the bedroom. And he looks like an idiot. Like, don't go out wearing Saul's armor. But my 12-year-old son puts them on, and I'm like,
it's pretty close.
You're filling them out a little bit, right? Like, but you should be looking ahead, like you're saying, but don't pretend to be something that you're not. Authenticity is something that people catch on very quickly.
They do,
and you need to be.
You got to be.
But you want to
moving upward.
Yeah, you want to be the kind of person that is thinking and living in a world that is forward into God's kingdom. Mm-hmm. If you're in your 20s and you're single, you're thinking about what it takes to become a good employee, a business owner. You're thinking about your career. You're thinking about building family. And when you do that, you're going to find yourself in the company of men that are running in that direction, and you'll go, these are men worth running with. If you're 20 and all you're thinking about is video games and how do I get more time playing video games, you're going to find yourself with the kind of quirks and immaturities that make it very hard to be in the company of mature 25, 26, 27, 28-year-olds. Or to get a woman. It's very hard. Even think about, when I was in high school, there was a few men that really stood out to me. My woodshop teacher, the weight training teacher, a few coaches. They acted like men in the presence of younger men, and it caused us to rise up. There was other teachers that tried to like placate and play down to the level of the teenagers so that way they could try to shoulder up. It's not attractive. It does not work. Like it very much you can see and you can smell that man that's trying to be a boy to relate with boys. It doesn't work. Men want to be moving forward. So be someone who's like caught up in a world that's forward thinking.
And don't be, I can't stress this enough. Don't be sensitive, and don't be like fake strong where something's killing you and it really is bothering you. Like the idea to mature in that and not let people's words define you. Jesus defines you.
Yeah.
But like once you can get there, you can have real conversations and grow and mature, and other people grow and mature. Like you have to, and especially if you're a father, start teaching that in your son. Reed will get in the car some days, and it's just these emotions through the roof all over the place. And I want him to know that he can always call me and we can process and go back to God.
Yep.
But sometimes it's just straight emotions. And I'm like, wow, stop. What is all that? And he's like, I'm like, get it under control and then let's walk through it. But like right now you're being a girl, like just chill out. And like now, like sometimes he'll get in the car and he's like, sorry, that was a lot. Let me figure out what I'm trying to say. And I'm like, cool. But like, he would have never done that had I not been like, freaking quit. What is that? And then now he does it with his friends. He's like, Dad, why are my friends? I said, does he have a dad? He's like, no. I'm like, that's why. So show him what it looks like. Don't just haze. You like there's that relationship there, but like that does so much.
Yeah. Hazing cannot lead to rejection. That's not what we mean.
No.
Hazing does not push someone out. Hazing shows
it's love.
It's love. Shows it's affection.
Hazing will push out the weak ones, though. I'm just saying.
It does do that. Yep. So don't be a weak one. Right? All right. This is the Kavod Family Podcast. Kavod means to bring honor and glory. It means weightiness. And for us, Christ is the one worthy of all honor and all glory. And we want to walk in his image. We want to be men who walk in the image of Christ. That is a lifestyle of honor. That is a lifestyle of glory. He will change your life. He will make you the light, the salt of the earth. He really, really does do this. Follow Christ.